Hey everybody, it's Rothbard's Disciple here. Sorry it's been so long since I had my last video. I've just been really busy. I want to talk to you guys about murderous mining today. A lot of people are taking this way farther than I'm actually meaning it to go. Murderous mining it's just an economic attack on Bitcoin, similar to the way selfish mining works. In that it's not actually a hack or anything. It's just skewing the rewards to your favor. Not according to your hash rate. Unlike selfish mining, murderous mining, like it will actually work. Like if you can figure out how to make it work and get the right algorithm for the block reward, which might be impossible, murderous mining definitely will work. Selfish mining will never work because all you have to do to defend yourself from selfish mining is selfish mine yourself. The only type of selfish mining you have to worry about is the SegWit version of selfish mining, which, you know, obviously Bitcoin Cash doesn't have to worry about. But murderous mining that I'm talking about, you know, it actually, like, it's a much more potent attack, and it's an attack that there's no real defense for if you can pull it off. The other thing is that it would take years to pull this off. Like Bitcoin doesn't really have to worry about this for at least a decade, if not longer. So a lot of people are trying to say like, oh, you know, Rothbard's Disciple says Bitcoin's going to die. And it's like, no, that's not what I'm saying at all. So I want to explain what murderous mining is, just so you guys actually understand it. I'll try to be brief here, but it's kind of hard at the same time because I'm the only one who actually talks about this, and like I said, it's a much more potent, much more nuanced attack than selfish mining. One thing that I would say is that if you understand what I'm talking about in this murderous mining video, at the end of the video, consider donating, because people like, you know, Emin Gün Sirer and Ed al. Or whatever, they get invited to all these blockchain conferences over their selfish mining paper, and selfish mining's, it's not really even a real attack, you know what I mean? And murderous mining's, it's a real attack. It might not be possible, but it's a real attack, you know, and it's it's just a better attack than their attack was. And you know, for the most part, I don't get that much in donations. There was somebody who sent a real big donation recently, which was insane. I kind of felt bad that I hadn't made videos in a while. I've been super busy. Like there's no way I could have made videos like recently, guys. So I'm just sorry about that. I've been working way too much. Not only on my day job, but on my own like entrepreneurial side jobs that I do. And I also rolled my vehicle, which was you know, just more work for me. But anyways, murderous mining is just based on the idea that, okay, like with Bitcoin, they link the block reward to the throughput. So if Bitcoin links the block reward to the throughput, the problem that you're going to have with this long term is that if someone can block your throughput, they block the profitability of your mining. Okay, so what I mean when I say Bitcoin links its block reward to throughput is that eventually the block reward drops to zero, and it's only, like, it's completely dependent on transaction fees. So if there's no transactions, the block reward on Bitcoin is zero. So the idea behind murderous mining, it's not like, you know, I said murderous mining is similar to selfish mining. Selfish mining is an internal attack on Bitcoin, and like I said, selfish mining doesn't work anyways, but murderous mining is an outside attack on Bitcoin, where you create your own coin and you attack the coin with, or you attack Bitcoin with a different coin. So what you do again is with Bitcoin, so again, since Bitcoin long term, its block reward is completely dependent on transaction fees, you do a 51% denial of service attack on Bitcoin just to make sure that there's no throughput going through. So again, the Bitcoin miners only make money if there's throughput. If you can 51% denial of service attack the blockchain, there's no throughput. The other thing too is if you can do this denial of service attack for long enough, you can create a long-term crisis of confidence in that blockchain such that throughput is significantly lowered. Okay, and so the idea behind this is beyond that too, because some people are going to be like, well, if you 51% attack our chain, the Bitcoin miners are going to 51% attack your chain. Well, if you do something like murderous mining, where you link the block reward to difficulty, and again, I have that algorithm up there. I think the best base number to use for the logarithmic algorithm for murderous mining is base of 5. So that's just what I'm showing up there. If you look at that algorithm, it's log to the base 5 of di divided by di minus 1, and so that's just difficulty change over the past year. Multiplied times m, which is the diffusions multiplier to attract the first comers. This, I think, would be about the ideal way to set up this equation. Obviously you can change the base. It doesn't have to be base 5. You can change what m is as well, and those are the things that you can adjust. But anyways, if you have something like Murdercoin, which has a block reward which is set up the way I showed you above, if you actually examine what happens when other miners from another coin come to attack it, you'll realize that you can never 51% attack Murdercoin without making it stronger. So again, like I said, when Murdercoin 51% attacks Bitcoin, not only do you cause the issue of the price of Bitcoin dropping because people can't use it, but by choking the throughput, the miners make less money, and so you're actually directly affecting the profitability of Bitcoin miners. So you 51% denial of service attack Bitcoin, it loses throughput, they don't make any money. If those miners try to go to Murdercoin and 51% attack Murdercoin, what happens is that the miners might find a block and they might start trying to do the 51% denial of service attack, but the Murdercoin miners, again, because the block reward is linked to difficulty, what they actually want to do is mine on top of the 51% denial of service chain, and because when they're mining with the 51% attackers on Murdercoin, again, because now we're talking about Bitcoin miners are trying to 51% attack Murdercoin. If the Bitcoin miners are trying to 51% attack Murdercoin, what happens is they raise the difficulty. Again, like I said, so they find a block, and in their block they don't let any transactions go through. But again, the Murdercoin, the block reward is dependent upon difficulty, and all they have done by mining on the same chain as the Murdercoin miners is they've raised the difficulty, so now the block reward is higher, so the Murdercoin miners are still mining with the attackers. They're still mining with the attackers because it's most profitable for them to do so, and then as soon as the Murdercoin miners find a block, they release that block. Now remember, the Bitcoin 51% attackers are trying to do a denial of service attack, so they reject the block that the Murdercoin miners release. Now this is where it gets interesting, because the block that the Murdercoin miners, because they found it before the block that is released on the Bitcoin miners 51% denial of service chain. Sorry, that was a bit of a word salad. Let me repeat that for you. So the Murdercoin miners have released their honest block on top of the chain that the Bitcoin 51% attackers are mining on. So the Bitcoin 51% attackers, they reject that block, right? So the problem is, though, that now since the Bitcoin attackers have rejected that block, the attacker chain, or the attack chain, has a lower block reward than the honest chain. So all this does is it incentivizes more people to mine on the Murdercoin miners honest chain. And again, because the Bitcoin 51% attackers, they're rejecting the Murdercoin chain, all this does is that it takes the mining power away from, or it takes a lot of hash rate away from the honest chain. And again, like we said, the honest chain has the highest block reward, and it will also now have the lowest difficulty. Okay, so we have just made it exponentially more profitable to mine on the honest chain. Not necessarily exponentially, but you guys understand what I'm saying. Like, if you 51% attack Murdercoin, you make it so much stronger, okay? And so in order to do a 51% denial of service attack on Murdercoin, like, it requires exponentially more resources than it does to 51% attack Bitcoin. And that's how you do this. And the other thing you got to remember this is that Murderous Mining, it's a market-wide attack, so you don't attack any one coin in particular, you attack all coins. All you do is copy and paste them, and you change the block reward to the equation that I have set above, okay? That's literally all that you do. The other thing that I want to talk about real quickly is Murdercoin versus altcoins and Bitcoin. Like I said, you start with the weakest coins when you attack with Murdercoin. So it's real easy to kill the lower or altcoins with a low inflation ratio. So a couple coins that have a real low inflation ratio that are altcoins that are really weak to something like Murdercoin would be Verge. Verge is going to have 0% inflation in like a year, and they basically are going to have no throughput, so they're done for. Bitcoin Private has a very low inflation rate. You know, Bitcoin Gold is sort of in a similar situation. So those are pretty good altcoins that you could attack. There's a lot more. I'm not going to go over all of them here. But the other thing that a lot of people will say is, like, what happens if Bitcoin Cash has 4 billion transactions per block? And this is like I said before. Murdercoin attacks the throughput, so scale is irrelevant. The only thing that matters when you attack a coin is if you actually want to absorb the coin, you have to absorb that coin's the data that is stored on that blockchain. So the more data is stored on the blockchain, the higher the cost is for you to attack and absorb that coin. So that's why I keep saying to you guys, like, you have to attack the small coins first when you do this strategy. So people are like, you know, people people, when they quote my attack, they're like, oh yeah, Bitcoin's in trouble because of this. No, Bitcoin is not, and Bitcoin Cash in particular is really not in trouble for Murdercoin, because the cost for attacking Bitcoin Cash will be so much higher than the cost for attacking other coins. It'll have to be the last coin basically attacked. So Bitcoin Cash really doesn't have much to worry about this. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? But the other thing too is that the scale is irrelevant as well, because you are attacking the throughput. So the more throughput you have, the more effective this attack is. It just means that when you try and absorb the coin at the when you finally try and absorb the coin, it's going to cost you more. So the more throughput the coin has, the more profitable the attack is, the more effective the attack is. But you also have to have enough money going in order to complete it. So again, if you guys really want to understand the attack, it's really simple. It's just that for coins that link the block reward to throughput, if transactions don't go through, the Bitcoin miners don't get paid. But for Murdercoin, the miners always get paid. And if you try and 51% attack it, all you can do is make the honest chain stronger. Like, that's literally all you can do. I'm not saying you can't 51% attack a coin that does, or that links a block reward to difficulty. I'm just saying it's so much harder. It's so much harder. And so again, the whole point here with Murdercoin is you take a Machiavellian approach to proof of work mining, and you just say, hey, look, we're going to go to war with everybody all the time. That's just the way it is. And so, like I say actually at the top of this slide here, Murdercoin is capable of killing all coins with a low inflation ratio that don't follow its block reward equation. So this basically eliminates all shit coins, because it's like, okay, if your inflation ratio is too low and you don't follow the Murdercoin equation, you're going to get killed by Murdercoin. And then if your inflation ratio is too high anyways, like your coin's just never going to work. So it basically forces ideal inflation on everybody. And that's why I love this idea. I absolutely love this idea. It really gets me going. But the other thing too is I'm not going to talk about this idea too much anymore, because a lot of people just misinterpret it. I just want to get the idea out there, because a lot of people, like I've gotten this idea forwarded to a lot of people, but they won't talk about it because it's a new idea and they don't really understand Bitcoin enough, so they don't really talk about it. But obviously recently, Craig Wright has he's talked about it, because obviously he sees there's some validity to it. He's got his own arguments why it's not valid, and I'm not going to go over those either. But that's the reason why I wanted to talk about this, just because it's one of many different theories I've had, or different arguments I've brought forth that are unique to myself, that I think are very important, and this is the first one that other people have actually really understood very well. Obviously there's some people within my own audience who know the other theories that I've brought forward. Most of them are in philosophy, some of them are economic theories, but some of you guys in my community, I know you guys understand the arguments I'm bringing forth. I'm just saying this one is the first one that I've broken through the mold and brought through to a wider audience. So I just wanted to push it enough so that people actually understood my argument and what the attack is. And so, like I said, murderous mining is just based on attacking throughput of all chains that base the block reward on throughput. It just says, hey, look, the way blockchains are set up, if you link the block reward to throughput, I can kill the throughput on your chain, and I can kill your chain. And so that's why you should link the block reward to difficulty instead. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. There will be more coming out soon.